Alright guys, so I am going to submit some cards to PSA. Before I start, I usually wash my hands. Sometimes I'll use some alcohol, just to make sure there's nothing on there. And then the hardest part is figuring out what to submit, because in this lot I've only got 20 slots. Now I know I want to grade my Batmans. Probably this Wonder Woman. And I want to grade all my Superman. I'll think about the Aquaman. Now I gotta keep these separate because when I punch them in, I've got to type in what everything is. And a few of these that I'm sending off to submit are gonna be error cards, like this Batman. And I'm trying to figure out if I want to grade all of my error cards or just the good ones. Let's see. I might grade just my legendary errors and leave the rest of these. I'm not quite sure if I want to grade any of these movie cards. If I do, it's going to be one of these Joker movie posters probably, since there was only, I think, one way to get those, which was in that 8 count box, which it wasn't difficult to get because there's so many printed, but if I had to pick one, it would be that one. But let's see, so far I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. Let's go ahead and send some more legendaries. So I've got 9, 10, 11, let's see, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Alright, so even if I send off all my legendaries, I'm probably still gonna need something to send off. Now here's the thing, I don't know if I want to send off all these dark sides because they're not that valuable as it is, so I may just send off one of the lower mints. And I want to send off this A4 Black Lantern, just because it's the lowest mint I have. And with my other low mints, I think the next one is probably this Poison Ivy, which is a 107. There's this Sinestro, which is 112. So Aquaman's cool because it's 999, but I'm not sure if any of these are really worth grading unless it's a 2-digit or below. I mean, that one just looks cool, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna grade any of these. So I've got these, I've already lost count. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And let's go ahead and, oh, I forgot these are, no, these are those. All right, let me check these out. Anything in here looks like it should be graded, not so much. So I may end up just grading all these dark sides. Screw it. And then maybe I'll throw in a Joker. My lowest mint is 5,000. So might throw that in. And I would have graded this Cape Crusader, but the print line on it's horrible. I think it's the only one I've pulled too. And I don't think any of these are really worth grading right here. So, yep. Let's just do one Riddler movie poster. So I'm gonna keep all my errors separate. Can't remember if any of these were errors. I'll figure it out later. Alright, so I'm keeping these errors separate, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start prepping these cards. First things first, obviously make sure your hands are clean, and then you want to inspect each card, even if it's already bagged and sleeved from when you opened it. You still want to check it out, make sure there's nothing on it that you missed originally. So what I'll do is I'll usually put a slit in my penny sleeve, so when I slide it in, I don't hit a corner. These are rounded cards, so that's usually not a concern. And always try to handle them from the edges. So here's what I do. I usually take it in the light and I will move it around, looking for fingerprints, imperfections, dust, anything I can see. Don't see anything on this side. Same deal on this side, looks pretty clean. All right, so after I inspect it, I carefully slide it in here. Wait, let me check that corner out. All right. Yeah, sometimes if you have any extra paper shavings from the cutting process, sometimes you can just flake it off by rubbing it a little bit. But let's set that in there, and what I do usually is I'll take one of these little sticky Post-its, put it halfway on so it's easy to pull out of these card savers, and just stick that in there far enough so just the end of that is sticking out there. And basically just rinse and repeat. Let's go again. Cut another one of these. Then I will inspect this, move it around. Don't see anything, actually. On this one, I don't see anything I can clean. I think that might be more of a scratch. But this corner is bent up a little bit, which isn't great. Is this gonna get a 10? Probably not. But I still want to get it graded. Definitely has some sort of scratch situation here on the bottom. That's one of those judgment calls that if you want to send it off to grading, is it worth your money? Because if it comes back a 9, the value drops immensely. But I think I'm going to send it off anyway, just because I want to. So we'll stick that guy in there, tag it, and stick it in the card saver. All right, and I'm gonna do the rest of these cards and I'll be right back. All right, so that took me a bit to get these cleaned up and everything. So what I ended up doing is I pulled out some of these dark sides and Lexes and one Aquaman, because I found some other cards I wanted to send off. But basically all I did was clean them up, tagged them with a little thing on the penny sleeve and stuck them in a card saver. When you're cleaning them, be real careful. Some people's fingers are dry and could have skin that could scratch the card. Also, even microfiber towels can scratch a card if you're not careful, so just be very gentle when you're trying to clean these cards. So I'm sending off a few Superman, Batmans, one low mint Batman, I got one Wonder Woman, my very low mint White Lantern transformation, one Lex Aquaman, a movie poster, and I'm sending off these 3 error cards, so Lex, a Batman, and Aquaman, all 3 errors, so we'll see how PSA handles labeling on that. While I was at it, I figured I might as well send off some other stuff, so I've got a couple sports cards. I'm sending off 3 Joe Burrow rookies, a couple comic book cards. I've got a Spider-Man Marvel Masterpiece, a Captain America Marvel Masterpiece, and a Iron Man Marvel Masterpiece, all out of 10 holos that I got way back in the day. Literally, I think I pulled these from packs. And Charizard I pulled out of a pack I got from Walgreens once. So basically, this is 20 cards. That's the average allocation they're doing for the $50 submissions. So all I'm gonna do now is I'll just take a scrap piece of cardboard, just anything like that. I will lay my cards on top, and I will just find anything I can to sort of mark it. And then I will cut out 2 pieces of cardboard to sandwich these cards in. Cut that real quick. Piece number 1, and piece number 2. All right. Now it's probably not the most sophisticated method to do this, but it works. So what I'll do is I'll take these cards and I will sandwich them between these pieces of cardboard, basically giving them a nice hard surface that keeps them together. Then I will rubber band these up. Typically what I will do is I will put rubber bands on the top and bottom in both directions, just because I've done it in the middle before and they can still slide out at an angle. So 1 on top, 1 on bottom, and then same thing in the other direction. 1 on top, and 1 on bottom. You want to make sure you're using rubber bands that aren't too tight either, because you can still bend this cardboard up and push against the cards. I think the ones I use right here are just loose enough where it shouldn't do anything. But yeah, that's about what it is. If you're actually still apprehensive, you can still throw some more on there across the middle. I might do that. There we go. And from here, all you need to do is get some bubble wrap and wrap it up real good. Let me go grab a piece. So I will just lay this in some bubble wrap and just start rolling until I feel like it's nice and secure. This won't be the only thing I put in there, so it doesn't have to be fully padded at this stage, as long as it's feels protected. All right. So what you can do here is either use some tape and tape it shut. Sometimes I feel like the guys at PSA don't like that because it's more work for them. So what I'll do is I'll actually just take a rubber band and rubber band it, because grading is subjective, and if you make their life easier, chances are they won't be as aggressive on your grading, as opposed to you making it very difficult to get to their card or your cards, and then they already have a chip on their shoulder. So I'm not saying they're not honorable graders or anything, but it's just natural human emotion. So that's what I'll do with that. I actually have multiple submissions, so I'll have to mark all these individually. I'll stack them up and I'll put them in another box, pad them up real well. Whenever you do send these off, make sure that you put them in the exact order that's on your order sheet. Otherwise, it'll take longer. They'll may even charge you more. I haven't ran into that yet, but I know it will take longer because they'll have to rearrange stuff. So, all right, guys. So I'm just gonna finish packing this up and mail it off, and I guess in a few weeks we'll find out what we got. So I'll see y'all later. All right. So last note on sending anything to PSA. You want to make sure that you send it registered mail, meaning you have to put it in a brown box Make sure every edge has this paper tape on it, which it's just tape, you wet it, and then it seals all the edges. I actually got mine from the post office. I was sending stuff so often that the guy just gave me his roll. But yeah, you're definitely gonna need this because it's the only way you can send it registered mail, and you're gonna want to send it registered mail so it's fully insured and you know it's gonna get there. All right, man. Well, that was it. I'll see y'all next time.